Hey, this works, great. My name's Braxton Woodham, TAP11. So TAP11 was originated about last fall when we were working on some different projects on Twitter and having a hard time seeing what was going on, and we said it'd be nice if we had like an Omniture or Google Analytics for the real-time web, and also a tribute to the greatest band of all time, Spinal Tap. So we built this thing. So that's what we did, build a real-time service to monitor. You know, they can obviously, of course, you have the tools you can engage and grow your audience, and I'll just jump in since this needs to go fast. So this was a case study that we were using, like if you're at Goldman Sachs and getting some bad press. On Twitter you see streams, but what would really help is if you could see actual like spike in activity, that people are like talking about your brand or whatever. Maybe you're out of the office on your phone, we built a mobile app as well. You say, wow, there's a lot of activity going on, and you look at it and say, oh, this is very negative, maybe I should respond. So you go back, and we have this predictive resonance algorithm. We're calling it resonance now because that's Twitter's new term. We called it volume. Right now you can see it's like a 7.4. You want to obviously hit 11 if you can, but you're saying, okay, this is a time when I'll have a lot of people hearing what I'm saying based on my follower activity and so forth. And so you do your update. It can go out all over the place. And then you can take a look at how you performed and say, oh look, people took a look at this thing. Obviously once you have all this data, you can start sorting your tweets that we represent as vectors basically in our system by different criteria and so forth, and check out how you did. And then we also, while we're building that, so why don't you just let you zoom out and look at your overall account, kind of see how you're performing over in aggregate. So that's the other view we built. So basically, Google Analytics for the real-time web. Awesome. And there's a picture of a vector. The rest was built by somebody else. I downloaded that while I was sitting down there, so hopefully it's free use. Yeah, so we just did some math, and I got 15 seconds to say that it's predictive based on the representation of a tweet as a multidimensional vector based on these different components. Some of these are listed here. We also did like an audience activity wave and cross-correlating those things to kind of say this should be loud.
And give him a big hand. Thanks.
So this is for big companies to use to monitor. If it's for Goldman Sachs, it's for big companies, right?
Yeah, mostly we're doing some trials right now with a lot of big companies.
So I suspect in big companies they'll have multiple people doing this, right? It seems to me if you're gonna, you were getting close to being able to score the effects of people's PR moves on Twitter in real time, right? It seems to me you should keep track of, you should have accounts for the different users and keep track of who was most effective, you know, at like making people start to like you.
Yeah, we actually do that. Yeah, that's a great idea, and we do that and score them. You're right.
Wait a minute, you already do that?
Yeah, we track different users and we have volume scores by user that it uses the platform.
I see. So you can measure like someone is on duty that day and like things are looking bad for Goldman Sachs, but suddenly, you know, someone on the PR staff is like tweeting nice things about them and everything turns good.
Yeah,
and they score high.
Exactly.
Right?
It's kind of like American Idol for real-time web.
Yeah, have them compete against one another.
Yeah.
Right? Because otherwise, what kind of benchmark are you going to have to measure people's ability?
Exactly.
You know, you could create a whole career. People could say, back when I was working at Goldman Sachs, I used to always, like in 30 minutes, I could get the sentiment up by a whole point, right, on average. You know, give a scorecard for people that they can put on their resumes.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's the biggest potential company that's presented so far on the stage.
Wow.
Is the idea that it's a pay service for, like Paul said, is it a pay service? Well, he didn't ask if it was a pay service, but I'm asking, is it a pay service?
It's for Goldman Sachs.
For Goldman Sachs, it's a pay service. Is there a free version? Not saying there has to be. Are you planning on doing any sort of a free version for like regular people?
We're still thinking about that. We don't know yet. We just went ahead and tried to build this version.
What you need to do, I think, is every time Twitter puts out a press release saying that they've done another deal for like promoted tweets, like you have to go right after that exact company and be like, okay, like I don't know, maybe Twitter's showing all this, you know, a bunch of stats and stuff. I'm sure they are, but it seems perfectly complementary to that as people are, you know, putting more ads on Twitter.
Cool. Yeah. Yep.
I love this idea. I mean, one of the things that we didn't talk about as much yesterday was the plan for commercial accounts and when we want to do more analytics for companies. And the idea behind that is that there will be an API for that as well. And so that partners like yourself could build on top of it and do other innovative things with the data that we're doing. So it's actually meant to be like sort of a value add towards, other people that are doing things with either, multi-author accounts, be a coach leader Hootsuite, or analytics around sort of how people are using the product in a business sense. So when we do more in that area, it's definitely going to involve an API and should be complementary to some of the things that you're doing as well. I love that you thought about it for the iPhone, that people need to be able to get that data right away. I think that's a key insight.
Cool, thanks.